I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is August 25th, Monday, 2025. I hope you had a good day, good weekend. So try to make this simple, but there's a lot to, beautiful day to talk about, but pretty much yesterday, Friday, what I panned out, what I mentioned is coming back down wherever we open and then fucking come back down, get into this breakout area right here, and then buy back up. Now we did that. We came down, we came back up here, and we stopped. And now we're actually coming back retracing. So we don't know what the idea is going to be after this, but it didn't matter because that was the minimum idea I needed, day trading, and just beautiful. Again, here's support. We got that dragged out. You have that gap, and then you have this bullish imbalance, and we want to see it hold. Got 50% confluence there, breakout area, simple. You also have this imbalance right here with this boner candle. And then you'll see that 50% as well. Watch this is fire. And I'll try to keep it simple, but caught the damn buy, baby, from the bottom. But we needed a raid first here. Watch how the price comes in. Okay, real quick, there's not a lot going on here, and just so you know, this quadded 4 level is the wick of last week. So coming back in, look how we tag perfect. Look at the confluence in this area right here. Tagging that bottom, that top 25% of that wick, and then let me go into the confluence of over here. You'll see not a lot. Don't worry, there's not too much shit, but there's the daily right there. All right, and there's the 50. Okay, there's the 50 right there. Okay, and then we have this hourly here. Look at the 50 is right next to that 50. Okay, and then we have a -1 standard deviation right here as well. We're all hitting at the 25% of the weekly wick all at the same time, bro. So what's the logic here? How did I catch this and buy it to right here? Caught that bitch from right here to right here. How did I do that? Well, number one, I already know the agenda of what I just described already. Forget even how I knew it was going to open this week. But number two, if you look at the way it opened, what do you notice? What do you notice right here? Well, they only offered sell side here. So they opened up, wick comes down, they offered buying and selling, and then when they come down from that open, look how we come up here, right? We squeeze some of that selling, if there was, but the point is, well, obviously there was, but the point is that above that high, okay, this high, and this open is this little window, which is where the circle I fucking got, because they didn't offer a buy side delivery, which means that it's a mistake in the algorithm, and they're gonna go reference that. They're gonna clean that up. You can't make this up. So that is the framework of today and the goal. I don't give a fuck if it keeps going up or comes back down, right? Day trading, right? But yeah, I mentioned we buying for the next 10 days, 8 days. But the point is right now as a day trader, look at that confluence. I just mentioned all this. And then how do I get into this trade here? Well, first we get this candle that hits the 25% and we dump. So we're looking for a dump pump to begin with. All right, so we dump first and we want to raid. We don't have any raid here. So we have these lows. We have these lows just sitting here. Look at that. Look at that right there. Sitting on the 25%. Look at the way it's coming in that gap. All right, 25%. To the 50 to the 25%, 50 almost hits that 25%, back to this 25%, laying on it, 50% sideways, very, very, very algorithmic. I mean, you know, you can't make that up. And then what are we doing here? Why am I buying it here? Because it comes outside that gap. I mention this all the time in certain videos when we're playing around these gaps. And it comes outside on purpose. It wants to sweep outside of it. All right, so it feel like it did its job. Plus, we have all that X marks the spot shit. I'm gonna delete that just so it doesn't, you know. And then this little projection here, by the way, with this swing. So you had a high, a higher low, a high, and then which is the high of Friday, and then it breaks right through. Right. So I'm just measuring that. I didn't want to measure the whole swing because it's too it's too overkill for now. But when you do it this way, you'll see the 2 to 2.5 is right here, and we're inside that price action right now. That's a side note. And then also, before I continue, I have the two projections here. I already had this one, this big one to the left here, and the 101.5 here. That's a higher time frame target if we keep going up. But then I measured just the candle here with this. You see this? I just measured that last 1 hour down candle, and you can see when we boned up Friday, we got into that 2 to 2.5 as well. There's an imbalance right there. It is a little overkill what I'm showing you, maybe, but at the same time, not really. No, it's beautiful. And we're just using all this confluence. But even when I didn't have any of those levels, just this was basic price action, what I'm drawing. Retracing back to a breakout level and then coming back up for a buy, right? Again, it's Monday, so that's the other caveat of this story. And then, what's it called? So now that I've mentioned that, you got a little speaker going on here. So lower lows, right? And then coming back up, even for a buy, for a mean reversion at the least. What do we have in here? The opening range gap getting above this gray gap. We have the midnight level. We have the fucking current week gap. And we have those two pieces of liquidity. That was my goal, period. Why? Look at that right there. I get out literally on this candle. 1122. Actually, right here, 1123, I get stopped out. Oh no, yeah, right here. Beautiful, right to it. Look how it comes right a hair outside of that gap. What does that mean? That means it just offered that buy side that I told you about from the beginning of the video. That is very fucking specific. What is this? London close. Am I going to keep trading? No, I'm good. I'm done. What does it do? It goes sideways the whole time. Imagine if I'm here and I'm trying to keep holding this. Look at the decision making. This is what's beautiful. Before I get into the actual trade here, the decision making of getting out. Yeah, I have this up here. It would be nice to hit it. Doesn't matter. I got squeezed out. You got the 101.5 right here. I drew this a couple ways actually. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. But obviously you have those two highs. You have that high. Look how we don't hit it, right? But that would be the start of the next area of where price would go if it keeps going up. It fails. Beautiful. It fails. Guess what? And it sells from right there. Look at how, we're coming around and we break right here, but we get a pre-sell from algorithmic levels, which is the high of the opening week gap, and then they're just retracing back here, right? And they're still just bleeding all day. I'd be pissed if I was trying to hold this. Again, that's why I'm a day trader. But in general, this is just fire. Look at this. Boom. Get in. Look how this candle does not, it rejects immediately inside that wick. So the stop loss is literally right here. If it went any lower here, okay, and I was shitting bricks a little bit, all right? When it came back, I was like, bro, what the fuck? But I understand that this is also price action, just double bottom, and we're looking to get up here. Goal was perfect. But you get this down candle, it's already holding. Doesn't break that low of this 933 down candle. Literally. Doesn't even, literally. Look how beautiful that is. Has to re-fucking eject if it's gonna fucking keep going back up. Right? So even if I take a loss here, it's like, it's no problem. Why? Because of the fact that I don't have it's not invalidating my trade if if it's still above here, of this level. You hear that? Obviously. So we get back to a reclaim here. We have this first imbalance, and then we have this change of delivery with these down candles. We pop above it. We came back in, and that's all it is. It's a shift, but it's a little dirty. But we had also the confluence of it being a lower low here with with Nas, and then we had higher lows here at that time. So it's just beautiful, fucking beautiful. And then what's it called? Selling, buying from the 50%, popping up and bounce. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I'm looking at that as a higher low, obviously. All right, and then it's just melting up, right? Beautiful, but comes right back into this down candle. Beautiful on a 5 minute. I ain't gonna go into it. There's an imbalance here, but look how we bounce right on top of the gray gap as well, which is connected with that last down candle's open. You can't make that up. It's perfect. But we're at the 50 here. See the 50 of the opening range gap. We're using that as support. Last down candle, you can see it's holding right there. Look how we snapped to that 50. Beautiful. Retrace back into this little miniature imbalance. Tags it. Fucking structure. Last 2 down candles. Pops in. Little miniature gap right there. Beautiful. Bodies stay right there. Can't make this up. Beautiful. Coming right to seal. Then tagging. Then coming in. Bottom. Boom. Sitting right on top. Comes right back underneath. Look at the bodies here. Look at the bodies, by the way, right there. That is also very freaking key. See the bodies right there. I could do this all day. And then we come outside of it. We play around 50%. We sell from it right there. Look at that, man. You can't. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at this. Boom. Hits the midnight. Hits the top 25% right there. Right. Then it gets to the underneath. Gap. Boom. Bounce. Yeah. First and bounce. Holding. And it's just kind of coming down, retracing, trying to wipe out some of these easy buyers. This is really beautiful, really easy. But what was the decision? Number one, to hold your nuts and keep your bias. But number 2 is to also get the fuck out. Just get out of the trade. I didn't imagine if I was sitting here stuck trying to keep holding for that previous day high, which would be Friday, right? That's obviously a goal, right? So this is holding the bag, and look what they're doing. They're pulling it back. So this is just. It's just what it is. Also, some more fire I'll give you is let me just do this. Let's get 2 of these here. And I'm just gonna come from this low. Oh boy. Alright, let's assume that this range is gonna be protected here. And we're in this range. I'm gonna delete this now. Well, I'm gonna put it to the side, to be honest. Unless they want to come back in for a discount lower, because this is a breakout area. I don't see it happening with especially the seasonality of it keep pushing up, but you never know. So I'm just going to leave it for a second, but it hit that 25%. We'll leave that for a second. Now we have this quadded. All right. So when we have this implied range, or no, I'm sorry, this actual range, we are pushing up here, coming deep. I already gave that example. We got to the 50% of that, right? It's a breakout area here too. 50% of that. And then where is the imbalance below that 50% as we come up? Well, we're in that now here with the buy. This is another reason why I bought it here. But now it can still trick down one more time to raid because this is a higher high in this push, right? In this push up, then you get your higher low. Well, this is the higher low I tried to buy, but we don't know if it's going to continue, and this is the smart decision I'm talking about, but because it could make a lower high here and then come down and essentially that would mean it's 2 drives back down. So the retracement is still not done. So higher high and then lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we pop up. We don't know those things, right? But guess what? I'm not even there to find out. Look how they're sinking it now. Come on. Beautiful, bro. Beautiful decision making. All right, and then also when we get to the 2 to 2.5, we're retracing back into that 1 and 1.5 on this little hourly candle right here. Not little, but this hourly candle here. We're coming from that 2 to 2.5 back into 1 and 1.5. Another reason why I bought it, but another thing that it's also doing. Look at the bodies right there on the hour stopping. Look at that. Look at, you can't make that up. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. Oh my God. Beautiful decision. I don't want to show my trades. I took the trade. Okay. I took the trade from here to here. Okay. So, but could have this been a sell? Well, I'm bullish, so I wouldn't even be looking for a sell anyway. So I'm not looking for a pullback, and I'm not trying to buy these and overstay my welcome. And here's a proof of decision making. And now it's just hunting liquidity. So again, moving forward, do they want to come lower again just to get some of this more breakout area here, which is now. So I mentioned in that video on Friday, if you watch it, I'm literally saying that I want it to come back down, retrace as the wick and as the day, and then we're going to buy up, right? Because it's going to stay empty as an imbalance between here and here, right? So I haven't drawn yet because the day is. Do we assume that that's the low of the day? Yeah, I assume that was the low of the day. So that's the nature of pushing up. Now they're coming right back down, and it's 4 o'clock. And what's funny is that might have been the high of the day, and now that's not the low of the day. It's Monday, and that's the real conversation. But the point is that does this stay empty? It would have stayed empty more likely if it was in this boat here, where we had this candle here. We push up, and then we stay closed above. Right? So that's more likely to stay empty and then whatever. But now with it being still a below bearish day, and we didn't close here or something. And I think this is just time distortion because between 25th and the 31st, they're trying to buy it up, and they've already done a lot. They've already done so much damage in this just one day of the 22nd. So time distortion is just a higher low coming for it to rip it up. We'll see, or do they want to come into here? That's pretty much where we're at, and that's the logic. So now the next day, if we, let's just say we close right here, and then the next day it opens, it dips into it, right? I'll get into the examples, but I want to make sure I've already explained all this, right? So just nice double bottom coming right through, boom, at 30, bounces right from it, and then you see the swagger, and then now you're seeing them just coming right back to the 930 to seal it. This is the first imbalance of the month, of the week. Notice how we just hit 50% right there, and then also that's probably 50% very close to the gap here, this area right here, which we almost just hit it. But this is where we are right here, and just beautiful day. I love when I can be done as soon as getting into London close. I love that shit. Like, this is my agenda, so I have to wait for this. This is literally, I got a hard on for this target because I know specifically that it's gonna pan out, and beautiful, man. So, ooh, dollar also kept pushing up, not helping us going up to continue. Look at this shit stretched out. And then I mean, you got pretty much a lower high here, but this is also, you had lower high here. Didn't matter, I was done. But and then here, that's lower, isn't it? Yeah. So right here, again, real fickle, lower high, be done. Take the profit, come right back to wipe everybody out. Look at that, it made a new low. So funny. But again, with the Dow is a big push up. I mean, you obviously want to see a retrace from, that boner candle and all that. So that's completely fine. And then this might be the next buy here, to be honest with you. But okay, and then Dow, again, a little bit difficult originally, but that sucks. Equal fucking highs right there. Comes in the lower quadrant of the opening range, just lower low. It's already been pushing up, and you say, well, why would you buy when this is coming down? Because we had more strength. We were buying the stronger asset. It happened to be us, and that's what that is. So, in a sense. Okay, so let me rephrase that. So we get a raid here, which is something more preferable when I want to take a buy anyway, right? Yes, these might have looked like they were stronger, but we know that obviously NVIDIA is way stronger, and NVIDIA had another push up. If you're watching price action with them, you notice that they're all also pushing up too. So what was I going to say? So what's it called? And we're up here, and S&P's still up here, and then Dow's just weak, right? And this is another reason why I don't trade Dow, right? So would you have liked to have now bought from here? Or would you rather be in here? And then it retraced, and look at S&P, they took out that low. But this is why I trade Nas, man. I hope that makes sense for you. And then I got to move forward. S&P fakes that funk, taking out that high right here, and then again retracing back into internal range liquidity, which is going to be also that inefficiency and blah blah blah. And that's beautiful, man. And then they came to their top 25, another sign of weakness in the market. Well, Dow hit the 50, well, didn't even hit past 50, and then they're stuck at their 25. Also, they, and you look at this, it's like, okay, well, they offered the same problem. That, it was just, why didn't look at this big push up, down, all this up to here, to this high here, is only offering sell side, right? But here's the thing: what are they doing? Well, again, it's Monday, so we need the wick of the week to develop, and sometimes you'll have an extra low of the day, right? And that's what they did with them. But with us, they did not. With us, they did not, right? And how can you? Well, you don't know what's going to happen, but we had the raid, so um, they're bigger ranges in a sense, and definitely has bigger ranges. I mean, Dow has good ranges too, but S&P is more on the tight side. It's more of an average, obviously, as they use a barometer. But they didn't come up here. But and you look at us, and it's like, okay, well, I'm making that decision to do something simple. I'm coming in to get into that area here, right, and to keep. And obviously, we're more bullish, in general speaking, as an asset, right? But great news for us. Beautiful. Other than that, I hope I'm not. So now it's retracing back in after hitting underneath the 50 of this complete range. We're coming in, and it's either going to buy, as an example. I mean, what are my options here? Well, again, still this. Okay, so it's either going to buy from here, and notice how we just used that. I'm not saying it's going to keep buying from here because it can come a little bit lower. Remember this little range that we didn't make a new high here. So remember this little retracement or this projection, I'm sorry, to 2 to 2.5, we bought right back up. Now, what if it fails? Well, then I would expect it to come into this 3.5 to 4 most likely, unless it wants to just raid this and the bodies stay here and it's stuck inside this 2 to 2.5. I'm not going to explain anymore. You should know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sorry. But the point is that that's a possibility. Now, if we have the divergence and we buy up from here and it's only from here, okay, great. Okay, I mean, whatever. I don't give a fuck. All right, but if it doesn't buy from here, then maybe it comes in here, right? And then we visit this breakout level here, So we'll see. Again, you have that discount here in the wick. This would be like an extreme scenario where I would like to see it buy and then push back up. I don't think it's really going to come back down here. I really don't. Again, does this bullish imbalance that we just created now, is that going to stay empty or not? Again, I would just like to, I wouldn't like to see it come inside this daily imbalance that we're making right now. Maybe the wick comes a little bit lower inside let's just say it just closed right now, and the 50% of today's wick that we are creating, maybe we dip in out. Otherwise, I'm not going to get too complicating. There's only options for buys here. And as far as selling back down, in this seasonality, I don't see it happening. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I do not see it coming back underneath here. It still would be super unnatural. But it is a bearish day unless it just continued. The rest of this month, I'm not interested, to be honest with you, at all. I am going to just keep a simple flow if I decide to trade. But this was pretty nice. And do we just get some bearish days to kind of leak in and then maybe get a pop up at the end of the month, or vice versa? We just keep buying up. Okay, listen to me. Either we're going to keep buying up in little structure, and then at the end of the month sell off because it's the wick, right? It's just kind of like retracing back for the late buyers, or we'll see. We might get a late super buy at the end of the month, but again, I don't fucking care. But right now, in the seasonality or in the flow, it's still what I just described and those options I just gave you. Now, I've said enough, right? I think I've done a great job explaining everything. I've drawn the examples. I gave you the extra tidbits with the analysis here. In a perfect world, again, we hit to this 50, we come underneath for a discount, then we come back up. Ultimate target for this month, in general, would be this next 75% level, which is going to be what right here. Well, this break right here, see how we and below, and then I use as resistance. So these guys right up here, that's that 25% of that range, and then you also can see a 3.5 to 4. So leading into that would pretty much be like the best case scenario for the rest of the month. You guys take care and God bless.